Welcome to Mom Friend Material with Cherie
and Jada.
All right, well, we have a very special episode today. We have a special guest, Kylee Arnold with Arnold Nutrition. Welcome to the show, Kylee.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with some fellow mamas.
Yes. So tell our audience like a little bit about Arnold Nutrition and what you guys do there.
So I own Arnold Nutrition Coaching. We're an online nutrition coaching company. I started it about 4 years ago because I've always had a passion for health and fitness, but I became frustrated with not seeing the results I felt like I should because the effort I was putting in. So I hired my own nutrition coach, and it was super transformative in my life. And I had people start asking me questions, and I just felt like people, after that experience, I found other people were making it harder than it needed to be. And then especially in the South, no one was focusing on how can we really reach our nutrition goals and embrace our Southern culture. And so once I found that gap, I kicked it off and people got results and I got referrals, and it's just been a blessing of growth from there.
That's awesome. I definitely, that resonates so hard with me because I think living in South Louisiana, I mean, you know, we joke that like, oh, we've got crawfish season and football season and king cake season and all of these, like, everything revolves around food here.
Yeah, absolutely everything. And alcohol.
Right?
I'm like, never, like, there's no other state where you go to a kid's birthday party and people bring their ice chests. Like, I just feel like that's a part of, a lot of the challenges, that come with trying to be healthier in our culture. But it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. Well, whenever Jada suggested, we were kind of going down our list of like, all right, who's going to be like a great guest for our audience? And you rose to the top for sure, because it was like, okay, how do we, being busy moms, it's so hard, like we have, I think, so much on our plate. We're getting our kids out of the door for school. We're packing their lunches. We're probably not packing our lunches.
Never.
And, how do we feel that gap as moms? Because I think it's so easy to just we're pushed to the side. We put the kids first.
We do it ourselves, though.
Oh, it's self-inflicted for sure. So I would love to talk about today, like, how do we start to bridge that gap to start getting better nutrition for us as moms so that we can be the best version of us for our families?
And I love that you said that, because when moms come to me, so most people, they'll go online, they'll set up a consult with me, and I just first like to dig into the why. Why do you want to make this change? And majority of the time, it's a busy mom saying, I want to show up better for myself and my family, and I know I'm not putting myself first. So typically hiring a coach helps them make that initial change, because like you said, we're doing for everyone else. We know we need to prioritize ourselves, but we just don't really know how. And typically, sometimes it's not even a how, it's just if things aren't ideal, we don't know that next step.
Yeah.
So our goal is to break down with our clients, how can we, as quickly as possible, help you take that very next step and make it easy?
Yeah.
So if you're on the road a lot, maybe you can't start packing your lunch immediately, but you can choose a better fast food option.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not able to cook a family meal every night, but you can pick up our no-cook grocery guide and buy some quick prep things at the store, and at least it's a fresh meal and you're eating a balanced plate. So we just really try to focus on dialing in that why and helping our clients take the very next step as quickly as possible and making it as easy as possible.
Now, see, you've piqued my interest with this no-cook dinner guide.
Like, you told me. No cook?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In.
But you touched on a lot. I know Jada has a burning question because, being self-employed, we're on the road a lot.
Too much.
And so I know we talked a little bit before, so I'll let you kind of dive into this burning question, Jada.
Okay, so out of fast food places, honestly, if we had to select one while we're on the road, how would you rank your top 3 of good choices in fast food?
So, I feel like this is no surprise, but one of my clients' favorites and my favorites is Chick-fil-A. So
Jesus
Yeah.
chicken.
I know. I mean, if it's a Sunday, we're going to have to find another option.
Yeah.
But Chick-fil-A, they just have, you can do the cool ranch wrap. You can do the grilled chicken sandwich. You can do the egg white breakfast sandwich. Most of the entrees by themselves, you're good. They're fine. Now, when you start adding on the French fries and the soft drinks, we might need to talk about some things there. But they just have the biggest variety of healthy, good tasting options to me. So Chick-fil-A is one. Starbucks is another really good one.
Man, I love you.
They have, right?
We love Starbucks.
I know. So
Podcast.
for my mom, that's just one of the quick, easy go-tos. Most people are getting their coffee anyway. So I'm like, if you're one of the things I often find moms doing is they're getting coffee on an empty stomach. So I'm like, you're getting coffee anyway, grab some egg bites with it, or the low-fat turkey bacon sandwich, or the spinach wrap. Like, you need to feed yourself, So while you grab that coffee, we're going to fuel yourself too. And number 3, probably Taco Bell. Yeah. Taco Bell.
I feel justified.
Yeah.
I feel justified.
That's just another one that they have, like the Power Bowls. They have the Freshka menu. So I try to look for places that have just a variety of options that still taste good, but are quick and easy decisions. It's not like you have to make a ton of modifications to it. So it's like, just order this or that. Yeah. But as far as like fast food drive-through, there you go. Now, there's plenty of fast casual restaurants, but if you're looking for drive-thrus, I would say those are probably my clients' most frequented.
Yeah. Well, and that's so universal. Like we try to, obviously, we know we're in the South here, but I find a lot of those casual restaurants, like it's great for our local listeners, but those, I mean, surely everybody's got a Chick-fil-A, a Taco Bell, and a Starbucks.
Right.
And if you don't,
I'm sorry.
Call us so we can hook you up with a realtor so you can move into
there you
a
go.
better town with more amenities.
I mean, we can make McDonald's and all those work too. It's just, less variety.
Well, and I find, because over the years, obviously, I'm sure every female on the planet has dieted at some point. Yeah. It's just, we're in this culture of, this diet culture that it's like, oh, you should be this weight and you need to do this. And I find a lot of times that a lot of those other, McDonald's, Burger King, you are modifying a lot. And it's honestly, like, there is so much stress and anxiety I feel when I have to modify. Now, it's a little better now that you go into like McDonald's and they have the screens.
Right, you can pick it all out.
And so you can put it and do what you want there. But to tell an employee, okay, now I need no bun, and now I want double meat, and I want
that's literally still all the joy when you're saying like, let's get rid of the bread. Like, can we just have a better bread option? No, it's like this or nothing.
So I think that those are great options. I love that you said the egg bites and the turkey bacon sandwich. Those are two of my favorite items that I get. Like, just not even, hey, I'm going to do this to be healthy. Like,
they
legitimately
taste good,
love
right?
those.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, who doesn't love Chick-fil-A? So we've covered some lunch options. What I want to know more about this, like, no-cook grocery guide, because that, I think, we all have those days where you get home and you're like, okay, I am done. I am not cooking. I am not doing that. Like, I'm sure every person on the planet has felt that at some point.
And so I started these no-cook grocery guides because I've found two extremes in the fitness or the health industry. It's like eat clean all the time, or, you can make anything work for your macros or your diet or whatever it is. And so I tried to find something in the middle that was realistic for moms. And I have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old. Yeah. So I needed something. My life really changed once I had kids because I had that less time. So I have, I think, 5, 6, or 7 now. I have several. So like Costco, Target, Oak Point, Rouse's, all of our southern grocery stores, Aldi's. And so basically what it is a list of foods that you don't have to cook necessarily, or very quick cooking. You just put them together. So maybe it's grabbing a rotisserie chicken, a bag of salad mix and tortillas, and you're making a wrap out of it. Or maybe it's getting like the Kevin's chicken and some steamable vegetables, and there you go.
Yeah.
So it's things that you can put on your grocery list. And I did try to be careful about the brands that I chose. So not everyone is the cleanest, but if they had that option, I chose the cleaner brands so that you could see how to build a meal without cooking. And the great thing is these things last long. Most of them are fridge or refrigerate or freezer. So you can always have those on hand for times when maybe you ran out earlier or something came up and you just need something really quick that either you can throw in the oven or that you don't have to stand over, or maybe you're using the microwave that day. So whatever it is, you can go to my Instagram and download the guide, but it's made it a really easy method for me and most of my clients. And there's snacks and breakfast items in there because we don't have time, even sometimes like the HelloFresh kits, like you still have to cook.
Look, I am a big fan of HelloFresh and the meal kits, but we have stopped getting them every single week because it is still a lot of prep work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you don't have an hour to prep and cook, I mean, you're not really getting out under an hour for those kits, which I think it solves one issue of like the mental load part of it is great, but you're still slaving away in the kitchen, and it's like there are just days where I'm like, I don't have it in me to do that, and so I love this. I will be going down with the Costco one myself because
they have like the chicken skewers at Costco that are pre-cooked, just different things like that make it so easy to put a meal together.
I even like that they have the little like ready-made meals, and they have like the sandwich, and I think it's like a 7-grain flatbread turkey sandwich, and then it comes with a salad, and I'm like, good. I can literally make that last, but it's like now I got to go on Costco in the day where they have it in there.
Yeah.
So, but I'm curious when the next guide you do for Costco, because now they've started the Southwest wraps. I've seen them in other states, so I'm curious when we'll get it. Which I know we will eventually, but it's a Southwest chicken wrap.
Okay.
With their rotisserie chicken, but it has like your black beans and your corn. So one of the things when we talk about like dieting and things like that with moms, I'm just irresponsible about breakfast. But what is your take on intermittent fasting for females and our hormones?
Okay.
Like, is it a safe thing to do?
It depends on where you're at. And most of the time, that's where you hear conflicting information because it does depend on what the individual needs. I will say for the most part, most women I see probably don't need to be intermittent fasting for a few reasons. One, most women are undereaten in protein, so you just need that bigger window to be able to get all of your protein in. Two, sometimes they take it too extreme. A 12-hour fast is fine. Stop eating at 7, eat breakfast at 7. That is fasting or time-restricted eating. Like 12 to 14-hour fast, totally fine. Most women choose to skip breakfast. And I, just from the research, especially with females do better if they stop eating earlier in the evening and have a high-protein meal within 30 minutes to an hour of waking. Okay. So that is typically if you're going to do time-restricted eating, stopping earlier in the day is better than skipping breakfast.
Yeah. I have found just in my health journey of prioritizing protein, the game changed when I started prioritizing the protein and stopped skipping breakfast because it was like I would be in this fog of like my body just like could not get going, and I'm like, okay, something is not right here. Whenever I switched to figuring out like how do we get more protein in and really start the day like that, the clarity, just I'm better for it.
And most people don't see the impacts of skipping breakfast until later in the day, so they don't associate it with the fact that it was from skipping breakfast.
Yeah, I feel myself getting angry at a certain point. I'm like, where is this coming from?
Right.
But exactly. Or they'll wake up and say, I'm not hungry. And hunger in the morning is actually a really good sign that your metabolism is working well. Yeah. So absence of hunger is something that we really want to address. And eating breakfast in the morning will get your body used to, will get your body in the rhythm of going more quickly, and you'll find yourself more hungry in the morning and your metabolism gets going.
Right. So I know we've covered a lot, but I know for my family, meal prep is always a challenge. So like on those days that, look, that no cook guide, that's great. Yeah. But at some point my family's going to be like, okay, we need like something else,
Mhm.
they're gonna get maybe burnt out on that, and probably me too. So what's some good tips you have on like meal prepping for the week for your family?
So I have 2 tips. So one of my tips from a budgetary standpoint too is to create themed weeks.
Okay.
And so some people will create themed nights, but if you create a themed week, you can use all of those ingredients. So if it's Greek or Italian or Mexican and you have certain beans on hand or certain proteins or certain things that you add in, like there's been so many times where I'll buy something for a recipe, but I don't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like creating themed weeks because it makes it easy to have ideas, you know. So maybe you do chicken shawarma one night or do a Greek chicken bowl the next night. So I like creating themed weeks because it makes it easy. I don't have to think about it. I buy similar ingredients. The other thing is if you want more variety, I love going to Sam's and Costco and buying in bulk. I'll do 2 to 3 proteins, carbs, and vegetables. And for my fats, I'll usually use sauces to mix and match or to cook it in. And so what that can look like is I can't stand over things for a long period of time with 2 small kids.
Yeah.
So I typically roast a lot of things. So I can roast, potatoes and butter in the oven. I can roast a variety of vegetables in the oven, whether it's carrots or broccoli or whatever you like. Even green beans go well. And y'all, when I say roast, like this is from frozen. So it doesn't even have to be fresh. If you spray it with some oil or put some butter on it, a good salt and pepper will go a really long way.
Yeah.
I'll typically do some pre-seasoned pork tenderloin. So that's in there. You can do maybe chicken in the crock pot and maybe some ground meat on the stove. Yeah. Another carb could be rice or pasta. And then you just mix and match. So if, Jada, you had mentioned your husband likes to create rice bowls with ground beef. So he can do that for lunch. Maybe y'all have tacos that night or quesadillas with the ground meat. Or you can take the ground meat with a spaghetti sauce and pasta and make a quick dish and pair it with broccoli. The chicken you can do with, like I said, I love doing roasted potatoes. So I'll do it with roasted potatoes and green beans. And you could do buffalo or ranch sauce on it. Or there's just a variety of ways that you can use things, but just doing just that 2 to 3 proteins, carbs, vegetables, and then using like your fats from like butter, or I love the Primal Kitchen brand of sauces because they're avocado oil based, or coconut oil. Anything like that can be your healthy fat that you add in.
I love that brand. Their buffalo sauce. It's so good. And you don't feel so guilty eating it.
And it's not overly spicy either because my kids don't like anything super spicy. It just gives it more flavor to me. So that's why I really like their brand.
I love that because it's like, it makes it really easy to repurpose. When you think of it as like, okay, great. Like I've got all these proteins and then I've got my veggies and my carbs and stuff and just utilizing the same basic ingredients, but using the sauces to like give a different flavor. And I mean, I never thought about doing a themed week, but that is so true. Like we like to cook all different kinds of food in our house. And I'm like, that is, I mean, how many times have I like put half a can of beans in a Tupperware?
And then it'll go bad because you didn't use it for something else.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. But if you did it for 2 or 3 meals, you could probably utilize all of that. And I mean, you're saving money. You're not wasting. Like we try to, we got a big food wasting problem here in America. So I try to not.
Groceries are expensive too. So like to be able to not have to throw stuff away, I feel so much better about than like going in there. Like we just had to throw away a whole bag of like romaine lettuce, the heads, because at least those last longer than the cut. But it's like you still got to go in and prep it, so you can make the salad.
And I'm a big fan too of like casseroles or skillet meals. So if you do have certain things left over, sometimes you can just throw it all in a casserole and it just magically tastes good. But that's another like quick and easy thing. Anything that you can just throw together and put in the oven or in a skillet that you don't have to stand over and cook can be really helpful.
So I am a big believer in coaching. I hired a business coach a couple of years ago. And so I think that some people get intimidated when they think, oh, I'm going to hire a coach because they think, oh, they're going to have to tell me this is the plan and this is how you're going to do it. But my experience with coaching has been so different than that. And it's really about setting the stage for you to achieve your goals. And so I'd really love for you to touch on like what working with you looks like and kind of like just maybe touch on a couple options that if, we've got some mamas out there that are considering like, hey, I want to make this change for me and my family. What does that look like if they want to work with you?
So for the most part, we do online weekly one-on-one coaching. So we have a system where our clients will check in. They will upload, photos if they choose to. But really, we ask them questions week to week. So what went well, what could have gone better, and how can I support you are some of the questions that we often ask. And that's important for us to know, because when someone starts working with us, we really set the stage for what is it that you want to accomplish over, because we have 4, 6, and 12-month packages. So what is it that you want to accomplish? Here's your plan overall, but here's what we're going to start with for the first week. And it's not me or one of our coaches, because we do have dietitians on staff too, but we all live in Baton Rouge, telling you exactly what to do, but it's getting your buy-in too, because we want to make sure it works for you, but we understand people struggle with ideas and that next step. So we take our outside perspective and we can say, okay, here's where you're wanting to go. Here's what you sound like feels like a good next step. Here's my recommendation for you. Does that feel like a good fit? And so we talk about the plan overall, the next steps, but week to week, our moms are checking in with us saying, hey, here's what I struggled with, or here's what went really well. So each week we're finding those systems and those approaches that work best for them moving forward, so that we know if one needs to change, because there's really no right or wrong way to do things. It's about finding what works best for you. So if something needs to change, or if they need different resources, so by the end of their plan, our goal is to help you reach your goals and to sustain them on your own. So working with us through the holidays, through tailgating, through events, through Mardi Gras, through all those seasons is key, so that we can equip you with the confidence of what to do in those situations. And you're not going to be perfect, and we don't expect you to be, but we'll learn from it,
Sure.
And so when a client comes to me and says, hey, I have brunch this weekend, here's how I'm handling my week, like they've reached their goals, they know how they're going to tackle things, that's when I know, okay, you're ready to go on your own. Like, you're good to go.
Oh, you graduated.
You graduated. So yeah, our clients check in weekly. We have 2 Zoom group calls a month too, but it really is that one-on-one. They have access to reach out to us at any point, so they can message us if they just have a question middle of the week, or just need a boost or someone to listen to them. And so we just really try to help our women, our clients feel empowered, because I think everyone loves who they are, but they feel like maybe with some changes in their health, they can show up a little bit better. And that's what we're really in the business in, of really what business we're in, is just trying to support and guide women and help them show up as their best selves.
Yeah. I mean, I can get on board with that. We love, that's part of our mission here at the podcast is that, we want moms to not feel alone and give you as much resources as we can possibly give you to be the best version of yourself, and know that you're not doing it alone. So, so what's the time commitment if they want to work with you? I know you mentioned you'll have some packages. Like, what does that, where does that start? If they're just like, let me just dip my toe in, what's kind of the minimum that y'all like to sign people up for to kind of build that foundation?
So the minimum is 4 months. I will say most people do 6 or 12 months because by the time they come to us, they are frustrated. They know that they want to make a sustainable change, and they understand that it's going to take time to reach their goals and then learn everything they need to learn to sustain it, because they're just tired of trying all the different things.
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up, and I'm telling you, I have seen so many great positive changes from just coaching, and obviously it's not food coaching, but I think so many people are so they don't know what that looks like. So hopefully this kind of helps open some eyes to know that, like, coaching really can set you up for success. Like, really nothing else can. Like, I'm a pretty disciplined person. I mean, I know you are too, but there are just some areas in your life that you just have to go, you know what, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to get a professional to come help me with this. So,
especially this is a lifestyle adjustment, not just a quick fix kind of thing.
Yeah.
So to help us feel a little less guilty about bread, that carbs aren't the enemy, what is the perfect way to say, okay, this is how I can have this treat of a nice piece of bread from Little Village, or a cookie, or a slice of cake? So how would you stack that to not feel so guilty, to say I made good choices to leave
leading to that. So I would prioritize a protein and a fruit or vegetable prior to that. So that one, you're full and satisfied. And so when you're having that treat, it truly is a treat. You are enjoying it. You're not trying to get full from it, because if you're getting full from something like that, you may not feel the best. Because the ideal situation is to enjoy our treats and still feel good after that, So I love chocolate chip cookies. So, I might have some fish and vegetables for dinner, and then I'll have my chocolate chip cookie. And I don't feel, and that's the biggest thing is to set yourself up so you don't feel guilty about it, because those feelings of guilt and shame around food will be very counterproductive for most people, helping them reach their goals. And so I love king cake. I'm a pastry girl. I am a pastry girl through and through. So just like I said, just prioritizing a protein and vegetable and having an appropriate serving and truly enjoying it, not feeling guilty about it.
I love that. So if our listeners listen to this episode and they're like, okay, I need Kylee in my life, where can they find you online and get some more information and download those free guides? Because I think that is super, that's an awesome freebie.
Well, thank you. So you can go to my Instagram, just click on my link tree. There's a link there to download the guides. You can book a free consult call, apply to become a client, or just DM me if you're not sure where to start. So I have a website and email too, arnoldnutritioncoaching.com. But most people like to see all of the content on social media.
They like to check you out beforehand and see what you're about.
Exactly.
She seems like a cool person. She's a very cool person, and she had me at Taco Bell, Starbucks, and Chick-fil-A.
Right. So what is your Instagram handle where they can find you on Insta?
Arnold Nutrition Coaching.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that this episode resonates with so many, because I think that really this is a gap in my life that I feel, and so hopefully it will kind of help fill a need for others too. So
we all need to eat.
We do. Yes. We do. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.